We've been ranking 210 Queen songs and it's taken us quite a while, but we are finally here. Here is my favourite 210 Queen songs in order. Okay, so if you're watching this video and you haven't seen any of the others and you're thinking, the hell's this all about? What I set out to do a while ago was to take 210 Queen songs, all of their singles, all of their album tracks, all their B-sides and all of their demos, and put them in order. But I didn't want to just go through and do it like, oh, you're better than this, you're better than this. I wanted to use data and I wanted to use spreadsheets. So I have my Excel spreadsheet all set up ready to go. And I go through and I tabulate them all, and if you want to find out all the detail, go back, watch the first video. I'm not going to explain it again here. But what I've managed to do over all this time is to get through and order them. So I have 210 Queen songs ready to go. And you know what? I don't even know the order of them yet. I haven't looked at it. I'm looking at it now, and so are you. So if you want to find out my favourite 210 Queen songs, sit back, get a coffee, if you drink coffee, and watch along with me. Okay, we're starting at the start. Well, we're starting at the end. 210. Number 210, it's My Secret Fantasy, a demo from the Innuendo album. It lost all 8. There we go. Dog with a Bone, one of my daughter's favourite Queen songs. There's a rift in our family now. That's number 209. Thank God it's Christmas! 208. And the first greatest hit, Lost Opportunity, Body Language. It's not good. I don't like it. Yeah. So 3 seconds of Freddie Mercury saying yeah is better than 5 other songs. Face it alone, it's rough. No One But You, celebrating Freddie Mercury, there we are. Delilah, 169. So the interesting thing with Bijou is it's 158. That's not the interesting part. The interesting part is that it has a record of 5 and 3, so it won 5 matchups, but it's only got 10 points. Backchat, 150th. Okay, I'm starting to see that some of these songs I really like, and they're 140s. $105th, we are halfway. The Kiss is number 100. That's a surprise. Kind of Magic was 116th, A King of Magic is 80th. Top 50 time, number 50 is Soul Brother. Bohemian Rhapsody finishes at 36. Innuendo at 20.
I am in debt to the tune of 15.
Here's the countdown. Millionaire's Waltz at 15. Seaside Rendezvous at 14. White Man 13. Tie Your Mother Down at 12. Coming soon at 11, moving to the top 10, we have The Night Comes Down. Was It Worth It from The Miracle. You Take My Breath Away from Day at the Races. Number 7 is Sweet Lady. Number 6, The Prophet Song. Ooh. Number 5, Brighton Rock. Number 4, All Dead, All Dead. Number 3, It's Late. Number 2, Long Away. And Father to Son is the number 1 Queen song. Whoa! We did it! We got there! That's incredible. It's mostly right. Right, let's look at some stats because we can. Number 1, Day at the Races, and it's got daylight between it and number 2. And I didn't think of that. That's a surprise to me. I mean, I've always loved the album, but I just didn't realise that it was just so full of bangers. Night at the Opera, number 2, I mean, that stands to reason. Night at the Opera is just amazing. Interestingly, I really love the tracks more than the A-sides, which is a fascinating thing. I mean, go Bohemian Rhapsody and everything, but gosh, there's some killers on it. Miracle, where I actually like the A-sides better than the tracks itself. Probably could have scored a lot higher if it wasn't for the B-sides and the demos. That's fascinating. Queen 2, which I always have said was my favourite Queen album. In fact, it's one I routinely put in my top 5 albums. It's 4th, and that's really interesting to me. But I guess maybe pound for pound, the tracks are just not as strong as Day at the Races. News of the World, number 5. Sheer Heart Attack, number 6. Game, 7. Kind of Magic, number 8. Jazz, number 9. From here it kind of, obviously sort of falls away. Queen at 10. Innuendo, 11. Forever at 12. Forever is... It's only got 3 songs on it. It's only got 3 songs on it, and that is what it is. Flash Gordon, The Works. Flash Gordon, sitting at 13. I would have initially picked that to be far lower. The Works, Made in Heaven. Hot Space, I mean, no one's surprised with that. Smile, not as good as Hot Space, and Queen Rocks. There's only really one song from Queen Rocks on here. Queen Rocks is a compilation album, but it does have No One But You on it, and so Queen Rocks was only ever going to go where that song was going to go. There you go. Writers, Mercury and Taylor, their solitary contribution of Breakthrough was the one that put them at the top, and then Lucas, who wrote April Lady, and then Mercury Moran, All God's People. So you can kind of see that it's not till we get down to number 8 to Brian May as his own writer, who actually manages to do well by himself. And if you go over to the contributors, because that's where the real money is, Brian May sitting at 1.51, Freddie Mercury at 1.5, Roger Taylor at 1.47. They're all pretty close. Brian May's slightly ahead. I always thought that Roger Taylor was my favourite songwriter, and he's got a lot of amazing songs, but it turns out it's Brian May, and we'll talk about that in a moment. John Deacon, he was down at 1.2 something, and he lifted to 1.39, so he's kind of there or thereabouts. Sorry, John, I love you. You're an incredible bass player, but I don't know. And if you see down the bottom here with how it went with all the rounds, 53 of the matchups were 2-1 wins. 53 of the matchups were really, really hard to handle. Let's have a look at our A-sides, tracks, B-sides and demos. So I like non-A-sides better. I would have always thought that, but now I've got the data for it. B-sides 1.4, so they're only just beside A-sides, so it's pretty good. And demos is where it gets a little bit patchy down at 1.2. So there we go. Remember, our highest is 3 and our lowest is 0. And then greatest hits 1, 1.6, greatest hits 2, 1.7. So I like greatest hits 2, I like the songs on greatest hits 2 more than the ones on greatest hits 1. I wouldn't have thought that, but there it is. Greatest hits 3, I mean, 9 tracks, and they're all, whatever. And all my non-greatest hits are 1.5, which stands to reason. Wow, that's really fascinating. So one thing I just want to bring up here at the moment is that just looking at the top 13 tracks and looking at who wrote them, 10 times Brian May is in that top 13. So no wonder. If I have a look down at the bottom 13 songs, 9 times Brian May's there as well. And I'm including kind of Queen and whenever he contributes with people. So, swings and roundabouts. A really interesting thing, if you just have a look at the top of this table here, Father to Son, Long Way, It's Late, All Dead, etc, etc. What I decided to do is, over in this far side you can see this SOS column, which is strength of schedule. I tried to weigh songs' competition against other songs, and if they lost to a really, really powerful song, it meant different than if they lost to a song that was closer to them or behind them. That strength of schedule is what it tries to measure. So what I decided to do was to actually take that strength of schedule and use that as a kind of a multiplier to kind of rejig the points. I'm going to show you an alternative table, which I think is fascinating, and it's this one here. And this alternative table, you can see on the far side is the position where that song was on the original table. This is only if you're totally into stats. If you don't like this, stop watching. But it's interesting that my top three, Father to Son, Long Way and It's Late, are the same. It's only when you get to number 4, All Dead, where that drops down to 16. And Prophet Song jumps up from 6 to 4. So, you know, it's really interesting. It's a slightly different way of looking at it, but it does confirm that those three are in fact the top 3. Unfortunately on this list, Bohemian Rhapsody drops down to number 52. Sad, folks. It's been tremendously interesting for me. I don't know about you, it's always been a project that's just for me, so it is what it is. It's been really fascinating for me to go through and do this project and just look at these numbers and see what it looks like. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. If you have gotten to this point, maybe you have, I don't know, whatever. But I'd be really interested to find out what you think. What do you agree with? What's your favourite Queen song? Which ones of these songs have you not heard of before? For some of you, there'll be a few. For some of them, might be lots. If you have heard of all these songs, what do you think? What would you do in this project? Some things I'd like to do in the future is I'd like to have a go at rejigging the scoring system. The 3-2-1 scoring system is interesting, but awarding 1 point for a loss and then awarding 3 points and 2 points for a win, does that work? I don't know. I'd like to try it again with a 3-point win, 2-point win, 1-point win, and just 0 points for a loss and see if that changed anything. I'd also like to at some point try just actually doing this manually and actually laying songs out in order and seeing what I think, and then comparing it to this list. That would be fascinating. However, I'm not going to do that for a while because this is done and it's been awesome. I've enjoyed the crap out of it, making me think very heavily about all these songs that I love and these songs that have shaped me. It's been really cool. I hope you are doing well. Mori ora, mori mate, may the force be with you. Yeah, thanks for being on this journey. Go listen to Father to Son.